Here's one way that we promote with our clients. Have you ever heard of permanent life insurance?
I've heard of whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of universal life,
Mm-hmm.
term life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're talking about index universal life,
Okay.
IUL.
Okay.
And we work with our clients in figuring out how much money needs to go towards their debt and how much money needs to go towards wealth accumulation. And a lot of our clients use an IUL. And why do they use an IUL? Because the money grows tax free. Did you hear me?
I heard you very clearly.
They're making money tax free. Okay.
Tax free.
Okay. So here's the next thing you want to write down. When the stock market goes down, they don't lose a dime of their money.
Okay. So wait a minute now. Normally, when you have to take money out of something, you have to pay taxes. Are you saying that if you have to take some money from there for whatever reason,
Yeah.
you won't have to pay taxes on it?
Amen, sister.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. You
Okay.
just answered my question.
Okay. All right. I got one more for you. You ready?
I am.
Once you start building up cash reserve in this policy, let's just say you have several $1,000s in there after a few years and you want to buy a new car. You can borrow $40,000 from them and they have to give it to you, whether you have a job or not. You could borrow the money for your new car.
So you borrow against what you have.
Yes, you borrow against what you have, but guess what? You're not borrowing your money out of the policy, you're borrowing their money.
Okay.
So your money stays in the policy, working and continuing to make interest. So no matter how much money you put in, it stays in. You're going to borrow their money. What? While your money is doing the work. Okay? I got one more
Okay.
for you. If you got that money from your credit union, you'd have to pay it back to your credit union with interest, couldn't you? Wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
You could set up the same payment schedule and the same interest payments to pay yourself back. You become your own bank. And the interest that you would have paid the credit union, you are now paying back to yourself. And now the insurance policy has to pay you interest on that interest tax free. Miss Rose, are you hearing me?
Some of it, I think some of you had gotten cut off,
Okay.
but I did understand you to say that if I had borrowed
Mm-hmm.
from a credit union, I
Yeah.
would have to pay them back with interest.
Right.
But if I borrowed from the IUL,
Mm-hmm.
that it would be their money.
No, you're paying yourself back with interest. Okay. That
Oh,
money goes to you. Any money else you put in there goes to you. The interest money that you would have paid the credit union goes to you. You're putting that back into your system. You're putting that back into your family bank. And that
oh, okay.
additional money, they have to pay you interest on that interest you're putting in there.
Okay. Once I borrow this money from them,
Mm-hmm.
there is an interest that's being paid back.
Right, right. So
But that interest is going toward
you,
me.
yes,
Okay, now I got it. And then they're gonna pay an additional
interest amount on that
interest
interest.
on that interest.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was trying to wrap my head around.
And it's tax free. So as it's growing, as that money is growing in there, let's say you want to retire. Okay. And now you have over $1 million in assets in that policy. You could set it up so you could take out a certain amount per month as far
Like an annuity.
like an annuity. But guess
Mm.
what? It's because it's insurance. You don't pay taxes on it.
You know what? I think it'll be worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be for a great cause.
Yeah.
It is something that I'm looking to do. I want to, once I save a dime here or a dollar there,
Mm-hmm.
I want it to work for, it makes so much sense to have money working for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So that right there sounds very doable. If everything is as you say,
Yes, ma'am.
and there is no other small print anywhere,
Hmm.
it sounds good to me.
Well, listen, we're going to give you plenty of time to look and see if there's the small print. But I tell you what, the company that we use is famous. Have you heard of Western and Southern? It's financial services, Western and Southern. They have a tennis tournament every year in Cincinnati. They have it just before the US Open. Okay. So our company works with one of their companies of the Western and Southern group.
Okay.
Okay. And when we work with them in the year 2000, which was the 2020 the pandemic year, the Pill Method Company was number 3 in the country in helping people developing their own bank with IULs. Number 3 in the country.
Wonderful.
And our company was invited to come and sit in the box at that tennis tournament with the president of the company.
Hmm.
So not only does it work, not only are clients jumping on board this train, but enough of them jumped on board to make sure that we were number 3 in their company. That's how many people we're helping.
Wonderful.
All right. And we'll be glad to do
Mhm.
the same for you. So go ahead and fill out that information. And listen, you're going to be better off for doing it because think of the alternative continuing to pay the bank more interest than you need to pay them. And that's bad enough. Giving the bank interest money that you don't need to pay is bad enough. But you know what is completely and utterly the worst thing of all is the money that money will never make for your family
Right.
because you gave it away.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.